All right, after game one, Toronto down by one, and I think that I accidentally hit stop when I meant to hit pause. There's nothing I can do about it now other than just sort of play on, carry on, however, and just do my best here. So, in the first game, actually, all three goals were scored in the opening frame. Come to think of it, so I still should remember. It was Chris Kunitz and Pascal Dupuis. Both were assisted by Sidney Crosby. I think there was one other assist there that figured into that. And then replying for Toronto was Red Kelly, assisted by Alan Stanley there late in period one on the power play, as I recall. A couple of power play goals. So a really tight game defensively and goaltending wise through the first game here. I have game two. I guess I could game two because it's game two of two here between the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2013 and the 63 Toronto Maple Leafs. And of course, because evidently both goaltenders there, put up a good showing there in the first game, I've decided, to go back. It's going to be Flower versus Bauer here for game two. So let's get this one underway. And we get a minute off the clock here to kick things off. And we're going to have a scoring chance. Actually, sorry, I mean not have. I honest to goodness meant to say not have a scoring chance, not have one, but not have one. Pittsburgh, their scoring chance should take an opportunity as well to point out here these numbers again. I should assume this could be your first time that you're ever looking at something like shootout, and you might be wondering about these numbers. If so, Pittsburgh scoring chances will arrive if the card the number here right here that you see here on this card is between 82 and 100, whereas for the Toronto Maple Leafs, if it's between 1 and 17, the 32 there, that's because the range is the 32 and 67, I guess I could say there, 32 for Toronto, 67 for Pittsburgh, is that the range is increased in the power play. Anyway, let's continue with this one here. We had no scoring chance there in the opening minute, and 3 more minutes come off the clock now. So a lull there of a couple of minutes where we get a 60. We get no chance as well after 4. So up to 5 here we go. This one's been a lot different than the other one. We're going to get a penalty here. The first penalty possibly going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'm looking here at the XY2. I don't look at the home and away. I look at what came up there for the first penalty. Pittsburgh does have some X's. I'm going to assume maybe if Evgeny Malkin has taken exception to something there from the Toronto Maple Leafs and headed to the box for a pair. Where we get a penalty for Pittsburgh here in the opening power play minutes. So really spoiling that opportunity. And we're looking at a penalty B, actually. So let's see, who knows what we have now. I do it home and away. I do it a little differently than it's done actually in the rules. So we have 5 for high sticking. 5 for high sticking and a Y, but I don't see any Ys for Pittsburgh. It looks like they're getting away with one if they high stick someone. And then 3 and 4, we get a fight, so it's going to be Kent Douglas. Kent Douglas against someone on the reserve. So again, I'm not going to bother there with the reserve. I'll just try to remember that Kent Douglas is in the box for a handful. Kent Douglas, who hardly, I think, would be out there in a man advantage situation anyway. But Douglas against, I guess, somebody, a Pittsburgh bench warmer there. Now, I'm really, because again, it will remain 5 on 5. I'm really not going to pay that too much attention to that. So, and I think the likelihood as well that Douglas could come up even assisting on a goal is uncommon. Anyway, so another minute here. That was 1 minute into the power play, and it looks like we're going to have a power play chance there for the Pittsburgh Penguins after all that chaos. With the flip of the F there, with the F from Pittsburgh, that is Dick Duff, or sorry, on Toronto, that is Dick Duff. Wow, going off the rails, here I am. Anyway, it's going to be in the slot on the power play, and sorry about that. My goodness, wow, a pandemonium there, verbally and otherwise. That is, and I don't even have the score board right there. So it is going to be a 2-2 game there. Dick Duff, somewhat controversially in all likelihood, scoring on the power play at 55. So that goal comes at 6:55. I look to the L1D1. I'll assume maybe Duff went out as the fourth forward then. In that case, it's going to be Duff from Frank Mahovlich and centerman Red Kelly here at what did I say there, 6:55. So Duff from Mahovlich and Kelly on the power play at 6:55, after evidently Kent Douglas must have left the bench and then someone on Pittsburgh obliged him. And anyway, we get going here with 3 more minutes off the clock, so we're up to minute 10 now here, still in period 1 with the 80 just out of Pittsburgh scoring chance range. 3 more coming off the clock now, just past the third, or up to the 13th minute, and without a chance there. And they're in, so we get another minute off the clock now. So here between minutes 13 and 14, again another quiet minute, but we stay here at minute 14 with the 40, however, without a chance. So a lot of whistles there evidently in the interim. This has been a slow one here with the go between. And 92, however, with that minute elapsed, we will get a chance here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now that I've said that, just my luck. Pascal Dupuis with it again. Dupuis scored in game 1. He is in the face-off circle. Dupuis is unsuccessful this time. Johnny Bauer has figured him out. It's been Bauer figuring out the Pittsburgh shooters rather than the other way around. Crosby was denied in a chance there. And speaking of chances, it's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto here, I looked at player E. Player E is going to be Bob Pulford again on line 3. He had a near miss there in game 1. Pulford has it in the face-off circle, and once again, he will be denied by Marc-Andre Fleury. So it's Fleury 2, Pulford 0. And with that 4-minute flip, that will bring us to the first intermission. And I'm going to pause, shuffle, and sip. All right, and unlike the other series, which was a bit of the other semifinal, which was a bit of a blowout after a game 1, this one here, it's 2-2 headed into period 2 of game 2 of 2. So let's see if we get 2 minutes off the clock to start things off. No, it is just going to be the 1. And in period 1 there in game 2, it was, let me try to recall, Dickdoff scoring. Actually, in the power play, 3 of 4 goals have been scored in the power play. And I believe was Mahovlich and Kelly who figured into that. Anyway, the 66, we don't get a scoring chance here to kick things off in period 2, but we're going to stay here just a minute in. So a slow opening minute here where there is potentially a penalty to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We look to the YZ. I think we did this before. Pittsburgh doesn't have anyone who qualifies for that, so we play on here just up to minute 3 now. With the 9, that's going to be a chance for Toronto to take what would be their first lead in this. Toronto here, player V is George Armstrong on line 2. George Armstrong has it in the slot. It's looking dangerous, and George Armstrong delivers. He has put the Toronto Maple Leafs ahead here in the first period. So Toronto, they were down 2-0 in game 1. They've come from behind and scored 3 unanswered goals across, stretching across a couple of games there. George Armstrong, 2:33 is the time of the goal, and 6 for the assist on his line. So it's Armstrong from Dave Keon. Keon getting involved. And Armstrong can't assist in his own goal. I will flip once more where Dickdoff will get his second point here in game 2 with picking up the secondary assist on the goal we play on here. That was at 2:55. Armstrong from Keon and Duff. We have another minute now off the clock here in period 2. 91, that's going to be a chance for the Penguins to tie it immediately. Player C, Pascal Dupuis. He's gotten a lot of chances in this short series, it seems. And Dupuis has it in the slot. And he's fire from there, but Johnny Bower is ice, and Johnny Bower shuts him down. So we're going to have 4 more minutes advance now. We're up to minute 8 here and 38, so there's going to be no chance there. So we're going to take another minute off the clock now, just up to minute 9, where we're going to get a penalty potentially, and more likely actually to Toronto. I see Bob Pulford there, the W first. I'll give it to Pulford here. So Pittsburgh in the power play, that is definitely a power play chance here. A minute 10 halfway through the second game, and it's going to go to Chris Kunitz here. So Kunitz here. Kunitz has it in the slot on the power play. This is not looking good. And the reason why it isn't looking good is because Chris Kunitz, like George Armstrong minutes before, has delivered here the 3rd goal for his team, tying the game at 3. Here in the power play, again, that's really kind of been the story of this. These teams both have to be really wary of taking penalties against one another. But it's Kunitz here specifically at 9:21. I looked at L3D2. So I'm going to look here to, actually to L1D2. So Kunitz from Crosby, and Crosby, he can't get 2 assists on it. He can't be that greedy. What did I say, D2? I think so. Orpik was out there on the blue line for a power play. Let's play on after Kunitz from Crosby and Orpik here at 9:21. 3 more minutes coming off the clock now, up to minute 13. And with that 19, that's, oh my goodness, because Toronto actually didn't do quite as well on the flips on the road pre-game. So anyway, 3 more minutes come off the clock now. We are up to minute 16 here in the second period. And 28, so there's going to be no chance there. 2 more coming off the clock now. 2 minutes to go here in the second period. And with the 83, it's going to be a chance here for Pittsburgh to pull ahead once more. D, that's Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby here in the face-off circle. And Bauer is going to be tasked to make a big save here. A 6 comes up. So Johnny Bauer has stonewalled Sidney Crosby here with a couple of minutes to go in the second period. Remember that save. That could have been a really critical moment in this series. In 18-3 or 21. So I'm going to call this second intermission now. And I'll be right back. So here for period 3, and you would be forgiven if you thought that this score was obtained from this game only. It is just 3-3 after 5 periods of play. Right, 3 and 2 are 5. The teams have combined for only 6 goals. I think at least 4 of which have been attained on the power play. And we have this is a dead even game here. 5 periods of 6 have been unable to solve anything. It was a 2-1 verdict after game 1, and since that through 40 here in game 2, it's been 2-1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's see what we get here in period 3. We get 1 minute coming off the clock here to start things off, and that 39 means there will be no chance for the Leafs or the Penguins. The Leafs of 63, the Penguins of 2013. And up to minute 4 now we go with the 33. That's not going to be a chance for either side either. We stay in the same minute. With the 13, we're going to get a chance here. Toronto trying to slow this game down and pull ahead. Toronto, it is Frank Mahovlich. Frank Mahovlich with it here in the faceoff circle. And Frank Mahovlich has finally scored. I want to say that's his first goal. Now I'm starting to lose track. So I guess 7, because I'm not writing anything down. But I know Mahovlich has at least a point in this. And if he didn't have one already, he now has a goal. This is a 4-3 game here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Time of the goal, 3:34. I'm looking to L1D1 here for the helpers. Mahovlich himself can't assist on his own goal. Red Kelly will pick up another assist there. And I looked at the R5 and to Red Kelly and Nevin there. It says the XL. So I'm just going to go with Mahovlich and Kelly there. Just a 1-assist goal at 3:31 of period 3, or 3:34 of period 3, I think, to be exact. And we're going to get another minute off the clock here. 4-3 Toronto. They've taken the lead once more. Each of these teams has had a couple of leads. In 91, Pittsburgh's looking to tie it here immediately again, much like after the last goal scored by Toronto. This time it'll be player I. Jussi Jokinen doing the honors for Pittsburgh. He's playing as if he's taking the shootout here. He's doing one of his characteristic S-Deeks. And Jokinen here. Wait, did I already? Jokinen here. So Jokinen from the blue line, evidently. So disregard what I just said there moments ago. But look at this. It's not going to matter from the blue line. Bauer anticipated that incorrectly. And Jussi Jokinen has tied the game here with just over 15 minutes to go, to be exact. The time, actually, that's a 4:01. So 27 seconds after Frank Mahovlich gave the Maple Leafs a 4-3 lead, Jussi Jokinen has tied it here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I looked at L1D1. I guess I will look to L3D1. So Jokinen here from Tyler Kennedy. And Jokinen himself is the left wing. Let's get the third flip in there, the R5 and the RW. Craig Adams with the secondary helper there. So Jokinen from Tyler Kennedy and Craig Adams at 4:01 of period 3. We have a 4-4 hockey game. And after what I said there, periods beginning about this being a very low-scoring affair, through 5 periods of 6, possibly with a sudden death needed if these teams remain tied and just can't settle the score in regulation. We've had a couple of goals here in the opening 4 minutes, I guess is what I meant to say to finish that long-winded sentence. We get 1 more minute coming off the clock here with a 29. There will be no chance for either team. 2 more minutes coming off the clock now. I don't look at the penalty, just the timer for that one, but I do look at the penalty for this one, where I looked at Z and X2. Let's see, I see the X2, Carl Brewer. Let's see, has he spoiled it here? Because, again, these power plays have both been popping pretty hot here through a game and a half and then some. So let's see here. The opening power play minute, the Maple Leafs managed to kill that one. The second power play minute, we could actually, much like a prior power play, we could have some rough stuff here, even though there are only 9 skaters on the ice at the moment. Penalty B versus home and away. I do it a little differently. I'm looking to the Z3 home. I see nothing. I look to the Y2 for away. Does Toronto have a Y2? They don't. Both these teams get off a little scot-free, let off with warnings from the officials. They don't want to have too big an impact on such a momentous game here. These teams meeting in a time warp. So anyway, 3 more minutes come off the clock now. We're just up to minute 12 here. And with the 68, that won't be a chance either way. So 3 more off the clock here once again. Just 5 minutes to go in this one. And with 2, this is a chance for the Maple Leafs to avoid sudden death. It's going to be player B here. Dave Keon looking to add a goal to his assist. Dave Keon has it in the slot. A defensive overlaps here by the Pittsburgh Penguins, or a lapse rather for that matter. What did I say, overlaps? Anyway, it's going to be Marc-Andre Fleury tasked to make a big save here, much like Bauer had to earlier on. I can't remember now. I think it was on James Neal or Pascal Dupuis. But anyway, we look here. Fleury save range 7-12. That is a 9. So Fleury has done it. It's right in his breadbasket, and we play on here. We're going to get another minute coming off the clock here. Up to minute 16 we go with the 64. That'll be chanceless either way. So we advance now. Just 3 minutes to go here in regulation. And again, if this is just a minor, I'm just going to overlook it. Yeah, that's just a minor. So I'm just checking to see. I'm just going to overlook that. That would have been a penalty for Pittsburgh, but no. So 3 more minutes coming off the clock here. We will, especially because this is the third and final period. You play it this way in shootouts rules and in mine. With the 76, that's no chance either way. So unless this is a 0 minute, which it isn't, this is going to have to be solved with sudden death here. 8 goals have been shared between these teams here after 6 periods. So we had a couple of goals there early in period 3. Jussi Jokinen doing the honors for Pittsburgh. Before that, it was Frank Mahovlich for Toronto. And I guess I'm just going to shuffle here, going right into sudden death. I I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm just deliberately putting certain cards at the top of the pile. You know, I want to show you that I'm doing this randomly so you don't think that somehow I have rigged the deck. I think I do a pretty terrible job at that anyway if I tried to. I probably would sound entirely, wholeheartedly unconvincing. So, anyway, not that I ever believed that you believe that I would do something other than that, but I'm going to show you here and demonstrate and prove that I am not doing that. That is also why, however, regardless of what condition I am in, you know, rain, I was going to say rain, snow, or shine. There has been snow here in Eons, but we get a little bit in the winter here. Not much. Thankfully, not as much as Canada. I don't miss it. I certainly don't miss shoveling it. But whatever condition I'm in, you know, I roll out those full games of Hockey Bones, that being a project involving 5 other people. Again, this is just intermission chat, intermission banter. As my wife comes in here, steps into the room, I don't know if she's looking to say hello. I should pause. So we do get a pause there after all, and a chance here to shuffle the deck once more here, just a little bit. Usually I shuffle it in a couple of separate small piles and then one larger pile, and then we're good to go. Here we are in sudden death. This is a next goal win situation, and here to start things off, actually, we're going to get 4 quiet, tense minutes here from both teams, we think. Although the 61, yes, that is confirmed. So another minute coming off the clock here, so just up to minute 5 we go now. With the 29, again, that's no chance for either team here. So 2 more minutes coming off the clock now. Up to minute 7 we go here in sudden death. Could there be a penalty to Toronto here? Let's see, we looked at the Y, we looked at the Z. Do I see a Z for Toronto? I don't see a Z for Toronto. I do see a Y, however. I see Bob Bond. I see Eddie Shack there. So I think I'm going to have to permit a penalty here, unfortunately, for Toronto, especially 7 minutes has transpired in regulation. I could see something, a little something happening. Both these teams are tired. Perhaps Bob Bond and or Eddie Shack, they quit moving their feet. They started moving their hands. So Pittsburgh here, I'd really, 68, that's going to be a power play chance as well. That power play chance is going to player O here. O is Christopher Letang, perhaps from the point, no, from the face-off, or sorry, from the slot here in the power play. And unfortunately, Christopher Letang, I did not want to overlook that penalty, so Christopher Letang has put the dagger in the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we are going to get something that I contemplated doing as a one-off anyway a while ago, which will just be a Gretzky versus Crosby intergenerational showdown in a time warp. Crosby for the 2013 Pittsburgh Penguins, and Gretzky for the 84 Oilers, Gretzky, whom I announced at one point during that semifinal actually against the 76 Philadelphia Flyers as having played for the Los Angeles Kings. So let's get the particulars here in the Letang goal for anyone who might be interested here. 6:58. So coming on the power play. Power plays, I mean, really, in a sense, because so many goals here were scored in the power play. These teams were so tight, playing such good defensive-minded hockey here, even strength evidently, through 120 minutes of this contest against one another, that really the power play was the only thing that could settle the score and make any kind of a difference. So I'm looking to L3D2 here. I don't know on the power play if Brandon Sutter, maybe, I don't know, maybe Pittsburgh had their top 6 there for much of the first 6 or 7 minutes. Letang and Paul, I'm just not liking what I'm getting here. I'll be honest, I don't like the fact that it ended on a power play goal. And now Letang, evidently from Paul Martin, if I'm to follow the cards and believe them. And left wing UC Jokinen, I could see that. So why not? We're going to say that's a power play 2 unit there. Letang with jumping up in the play. Paul Martin anchoring back the blue line there, keeping the zone. And it was UC Jokinen as well, figuring into it with the outlet pass and the second assist. So there you have it, I guess. It took 66 minutes and 58 seconds. And again, as aforementioned there, the final will feature the 2013 Pittsburgh Penguins up against the 1984 Edmonton Oilers. Also, the 2 teams that actually finished when I did the qualifying for this, the round robin, the prelims, just to sort and to kind of come up with a fairish way to determine who would get home ice advantage, who would play at home first. It was the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Edmonton Oilers not faring too well in those prelims or round robins or whatever with shootout easy. At which time I did add in that initial video that once I'm actually playing this out with the fast action cards, it could be a bit of a different story. And here indeed it has been a different story. So again, coming up, I won't say exactly when, but sooner than later, it will be the 1984 Edmonton Oilers against the 2013 Pittsburgh Penguins, and a best of 2 most goals wins on this channel. So anyway, cheer. Whoops. I'm stuck to the mug there. Cheers, thanks, and bye for now.